Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back with another collection update.
Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical.
Media. I've got a bunch of new stuff I added to the collection that I'll be showing in this update, including Blu-rays, DVDs, VHS tapes, a book, and even some stickers. Starting with those, I got a package in from Wild Eye Releasing, and they sent me some stickers along with some movies. Here's a Visual Vengeance sticker, Blood of the Chupacabras, Slaughter Day, The Necrophiles, and Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell, aka The Japanese Evil Dead. Speaking of that, that's one of the movies Wild Eye sent me as part of their Visual Vengeance line. Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell. I cannot wait to check this out. I've been told it's right up my alley, and the fact that it's the Japanese Evil Dead, I would say that's accurate. I'll be talking a lot more about this one in my review video, so stay tuned for that. Wild Eye also sent me The Necrophiles as part of their Visual Vengeance line. Another one I cannot wait to check out. I've always heard wild things about this movie, so I'm so glad to have it in my collection. This is, of course, another one I'll be discussing soon when I watch it and review it. By the way, both of these are Blu-rays with slipcovers. And here's another Blu-ray with a slipcover. Well, technically it's a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. Suicide Squad, the extended cut. It also contains the theatrical version. I picked this up because it's a movie Jason and I will be discussing during our Positive Spin series at some point. And speaking of movies to which we'll be giving a positive spin, I also picked up Children of the Corn Genesis on Blu-ray. I picked up the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of The Purge Election Year, since prior to this I only owned the first two Purge movies on Blu-ray. This one was actually filmed about 10 minutes from my house. And the last of the Blu-rays is yet another copy of The Never-Ending Story for my collection. This is the bare bones Blu-ray release, as opposed to the one I already own that has special features, which is a good segue into the book I found for this haul, The Never-Ending Story. This copy, as you can see, was re-released around the time of the movie's release, which is why it has the cover featuring images from the film. I read this book as a kid, and I'm very excited to reread it after all these years. And the collection truly is never-ending, because here is yet another. This is the classic 80s rewind release of The Never-Ending Story on DVD. As you can see, it has this limited edition slipcover. I also picked up Crank on DVD with the slipcover, and Crank 2, High Voltage, which for some reason has been eluding me for a while, but I finally found a copy. I grabbed Christmas Vacation 2. This will definitely be a positive spin for Jason and me in December. And A Christmas Story 2, another possible positive spin contender. Jason had suggested I pick up this movie if I had seen it for positive spin, The Bye-Bye Man. And he suggested this positive spin at some point as well, The Pyramid. I found A Quiet Place Part 2. Brand new and still sealed at the thrift store, so I obviously had to buy it. I haven't seen the sequel yet, but I've been wanting to watch it since it was first released, so I'm glad I found it so cheap and brand new. For some reason, this was the only Exorcist film I did not own, but I finally found it. Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist. I do own Bones on VHS, but I found this snapper case DVD, so I grabbed this too. I found this at the thrift store and thought it looked interesting. Crime and Punishment in Suburbia. It stars Monica Keena from Freddy vs. Jason, and she also played Abby Morgan in Dawson's Creek. I found another snapper case DVD. This is of Death Trap. I've been meaning to add this to my collection for a while, so I finally did. And now on to the VHS tapes with this Warner Home Video clamshell release of A Streetcar Named Desire. I also found this Anchor Bay Collector's Edition clamshell release of Wojciech, starring Klaus Kinski. I found all of the VHS-era Rocky movies together at one thrift store on VHS. Rocky, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, and Rocky 5. I found the director's cut of Spawn on VHS to go along with my theatrical version on tape. The cover of this director's cut, by the way, is embossed. I grabbed Night Shift on VHS, and I picked up this WWF tape, SummerSlam, The Greatest Hits. I added the VHS release of Clue, the movie, to my collection, and I bought the Tom Cruise remake of War of the Worlds, because this is actually a pretty rare tape, since the movie was released late in the VHS era. I found this MCA VHS release of Weird Science. Believe it or not, I've never owned this movie until now. And here's another VHS copy of the original The Thing for my collection. This is the colorized version. Here's an interesting one that never made it to DVD. Shadow of the Night. It stars a young Drake Bell. And another rare VHS release, as many of the David Lynch films are. Mulholland Drive. I found the special edition of Jaws 2 on tape, and despite already owning 2 different VHS releases of Jaws 2, I had to grab this one as well, since it's my favorite Jaws film. Here's an Alex Winter-directed obscurity, Fever on VHS. I finally found a copy of Airheads on tape, which is actually pretty rare for this format, believe it or not. And yet another rare one, since it was a very late VHS release. Wes Craven's Cursed, the unrated version. Unfortunately, as you can see, some jackhole wrote right on the cover here. I have no idea why people do that. Regardless, there was no way I could leave this rare tape behind at the thrift store. I found another Monsters tape for my growing collection of these. This contains the episodes Jar and The Farmer's Daughter, and another one for my Full Moon VHS collection, Crips. Aberration, this is a 90s Lost on VHS obscurity, and Edgar Allan Poe's 1 Minute Before Death. Here's an early 2000s horror film that is probably much more entertaining than you'd expect, The Convent. This one looked like fun, Deadly Species, and the carnival on the cover of this tape caught my eye. Not to mention, it stars Alicia Silverstone and Kevin Dillon. True Crime. Apparently, this one is fairly rare, too. Oh, and I can win a murder mystery weekend. See details on video. This was a really nice find. Motel Hell on VHS. And finally, the cream of the crop in this haul, the Vestron video release of Future Hunters. This stars a young Robert Patrick, T-1000 himself, and the movie is lost on VHS. I remember seeing this for the first time back in the Monster Vision days with Joe Bob Briggs. It does not pop up often for sale at a reasonable price, so I'm super excited to finally add it to my collection. So that's it, guys, for this collection update. What do you think? Comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.